Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here on the very first episode of the Application Security Virtual Meetups podcast. And today we have the most special guest. It is Lior Mazor, who is the brain behind the community so that we can dive deeper into the person behind all that knowledge. Lior is an InfoSec leader and an expert in enterprise cyber defense methodologies. The 7.5 thousand and growing members of the community use Meetup to do many great things, to meet security experts, to learn new things, to find support, to have fun exploring beyond their comfort zones, and to pursue their passions together. And this sense of togetherness is going to be grown thanks to this podcast. And that's why we will have a lot of fascinating discussions. Lior, how are you today?
Wow, I'm fine, Aziz, and thank you for having me in this great podcast. It's a nice day. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you for having me or having each other in this podcast, which is very interesting. And I want this to be really human so that the people who will watch and observe or have followed you throughout the community will know more. So let's begin with your origin story. You know, like all superheroes, they have an origin story. Batman with his parents, the Superman with leaving his planet. Well, to you, what was the origin story of starting the Meetup community? How did it start? And what motivated you to share this with the world?
Yes, so we've started everything in 2020 when the COVID-19 struck. The virus has started. Everyone was kept at home, and suddenly the conference was stopped. We stopped meet people in person, and there was a need to share information and knowledge in the field of cybersecurity. So people had or wanted to be engaged, to be part of a community, and to meet each other virtually. So what we did, I've established the Security Virtual Meetup, which is a platform to connect InfoSec experts with people in the field of those who wants to enter the cybersecurity world, but also for those people who need to know InfoSec as part of their daily job. Today, as you mentioned, we are a community of about 7,500 members from Israel and worldwide. We are performing monthly virtual meetings on a variety of topics in the InfoSec and cybersecurity world, cloud security, application security, DevSecOps, all the new names in cybersecurity, even AI security. And others.
Thank you. That is fascinating and it sounds amazing because community is truly a powerful thing. It is building your own tribe that shares knowledge. Like before, you used to through the grapevine find what is interesting, what is happening. Well, now you can keep up to date and have people with you that support you through your growth, etc. So I'll go a bit to left field because many people probably watching, they're curious, what does it mean to build a community? Let's say one day I want to build my own community. How do I keep members engaged? What lessons have you learned? What are your own standards or best practices for building the community that maybe can inspire others? Because this is all about inspiring others to bigger and bigger things.
Yes, of course, of course. Nowadays the communities are very strong with many people out there that are reaching or trying to understand which are people that are similar to them. Even after the COVID-19, we understood that people are still working from home. There are people that want to connect, want to share their knowledge and gain their knowledge through the internet, through the cybernetic world, in order to gain access to new topics or new things, new knowledge that they were not able even to reach without it. So in order to build this kind of community, I think first of all, it's to be interesting. It should be well organized in terms of content and lectures. People want to hear from other experts. Someone that already knew or did things that you haven't yet done, this is something very strong that you can learn from someone that has the experience or went through a specific period or specific learning experience that you can gain. And sometimes you have to work with lecturers, such as I, as a building a community. I need to work with the lecturers in order to fine tune and sharpen and even clearer their message to the world. Because even for those who have lectured in the past in front of audience before, Zooming is different. Even when we are currently speaking with the podcast, it's something we cannot see our audience. So, but eventually, I hope everyone will see us and it will be explode and viral. But eventually, you don't see the audience, so you have to put your passion through the microphone, turn on the camera, arrange all the parts in the background before the meeting, and focus on what you need to think, what you need to say, your message that will transfer to the other side, even on the other side of the world, not just on a geographical boundary, but on the other side of the world, even on the moon. When people will hear you, they will need to understand your message, and it needs to go through. And it needs to be well organized and design your presentation, because eventually people can feel you, can understand you through your presentation. Even a spelling mistake can lower the participation in the meetup. Also, focus on interaction with your audience. Like you meet a close friend. Think of that. You haven't seen a close friend for a long time, and now you are seeing him, and it's like, the time didn't pass out. It's you talking with him, you're expressing your feeling, you always have something to talk about. Transferring it into Zoom or through Zoom and interact the same way, like you are performing in person. It needs a lot of practice, and there are many lecturers that maybe lecture front or physically, but they are not well trained in Zoom. So part of the meetup and growing and understanding is that I need to work more with the lecturers. Moreover, be consistent and share your professional content with the community. Share your presentation, videos on social media such LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, through mailing list, in order to reach your target audience. Because eventually there is someone out there that want to hear you, but maybe he doesn't know you. So you need to spread your application, your application security, or my application security group, and spread the rumor all around the internet.
I love that. And I love the ambition when you said reach even to the moon. That's absolutely great. And all the skills you're speaking about, they're the skills of now and of the future. I mean, what is left for human beings? And I know Gary Vee also speaks about that in an age where things are moving more and more towards AI. It's a human communication that makes you really special and unique and standing out within the marketplace. You spoke about clarifying your message. And yes, there are people who are experts, but they're not expert at communicating their expertise. So they will learn a lot from what you do, and maybe also from this podcast about this communication, clarifying your message, being consistent too. We live in an age of algorithm, and so you have to be consistent in order to feed the algorithm so it likes you and shows you to more people, and being professional, not making those typo mistakes, and designing the communication so that I know one of the things you do, you try to not exceed 30 minutes. Otherwise, people might just delay it and think, no, it's too long, I will watch later. And then they get busy and never interact with you. And again, it's about sharing your message. And so to understand you, because you're someone who is very interested in InfoSec, but you seem to have a passion for communication, for helping people, maybe experts, to communicate their messages, as well as educating and your audience as well as the community. what is most interesting to you about sharing the InfoSec ideas and newest methodologies, and what interested you in it or keeps you excited about it every day?
Okay. Interacting with people. Eventually, also myself was locked down as part of the COVID. And eventually, I'm in the cybersecurity world because I love to work with people. I love to work with them, understand how they're thinking, and actually implement security on their day-to-day job. So eventually, people in the group participate in the meetup in order to get to know each other. They have the same interests. They are sharing knowledge between each other, like experts sharing with someone that want to just get into the field of cybersecurity and don't know where to start, where to learn, what to do. So it can be actually the first steps in the field of cybersecurity. And people asking questions. You also ask me questions and I'm answering you, and participate in a wide discussion, a wide range discussion, and there are sometimes multiple choices or variety of thinking on a specific topic, but eventually each and every one wants to have a better and secured world, I think, and eventually the community is connecting people. I can tell you, for example, a story that I've heard that one of the meetup members managed to find a job during this time of recession after being laid off due to a layoff in his company, and due to the connections and the engagement and the conversation that we had as part of the meetup group, he was able to find his next job. So, I think it's wonderful. Community is great.
I agree 100%. And really, in the old times, they used to call it networking, but now you're with like minded people who can share so much with you. They have experience and expertise that you cannot find in books or blogs or anything because they lived it in real life. They know within the field about you, for example, as a beginner, which curriculum you would serve you best because they have gone through it, they know the changes, and they know what are the jobs that are open, the opportunities that can really take you to the next level. So, community, you can even think about it as the group of friends that will help you conquer the world. And it's absolutely unexpected because some people will think infosec and software people, it's not about people, it's all about machines and code and security, bugs and exploits and everything like that. But it's people first, and people are using the machines as tools in order to have leverage in this life and create more value, more good things in this world. And I love that you spoke about that story because I believe nothing builds a community like shared stories. So, and it also keeps you very motivated because you feel your impact on people. Are there even more stories you can share about some members who maybe fell in love with the community because of something, changed their life in a specific way, or simply adore the meetups and they're a fun part of their life for whatever specific reasons? Please share.
Yes, of course. So we have a group, let's call it like the small group of people that always come to the meetup before the meetup starting. So I'm always opening the meetup in advance so people can come 10 minutes, 15 minutes before, and the discussion before the meetup, like you can see their excitement, they are waiting for it. Someone even told me that he's bringing his best beer to the table in order to participate, or someone saying like, I have pizza on the door, let me get it and I will come back in a minute. So, it's part of people's lives, and I'm feeling that we are interacting with people's lives. People can connect to the meetup from anywhere on Earth or on the moon, as I said, if they have an internet connection, of course. And I think everything can be virtually. So taking the physically into the virtually is something that people embraced in this time of period due to the COVID-19, but eventually we change ourselves a bit. We adapt to the new situation. And as human beings, we are the most adaptive creature in the world. So we adapt. We understood and learn, and this is the new way of doing things. So the new way of communicating, the new way of building community, getting new friends, be part of something, share the knowledge. And I think we build a platform of this knowledge sharing community, which is in one place a safe place that everyone can share the knowledge, but on the other side is very professional. So when you are coming to a meetup, you will hear the best expert on a specific field, on cloud security, on application security, on DevSecOps. That doesn't matter, on privacy. You will hear the experts. So you will know that the message or what they have to say is, the top level, the top notch of the information security, and you can count on them. Moreover, you can ask them questions as part of the meetup, after the meetup, and after the meetup. So they are open because you are part of the community, you are part of their friends. And this is why there are relationships which are ongoing. And as I mentioned, someone already find his job as part of the meetup. So, I think it's beautiful.
I agree 100%. And that's absolutely powerful because watching a recorded video on, for example, YouTube or on a course or reading a book, you cannot ask the author a question if you have something in mind. But this allows you over time, like you said, not even through that specific meeting, but overall, after some weeks, let's say you're facing something related to what they spoke about exactly, you try to apply what they taught you or shared with you, and you find something confusing or unable to apply it, and you go searching Google, but it's too new or the expertise is too deep, you cannot find it, you can ask them. And also, like you said, you like when people ask you questions. Asking experts questions makes them feel valued, that they're sharing their knowledge, and it builds relationships. It's a way to add value. And since you're speaking about the moon and building the relationships, and you are a very ambitious individual, I'm very curious about what do you think or have in mind for the future of the community? Is there a plan or a big vision that you are thinking of that maybe members can be excited about and that you plan to create for the future of the meetups?
Okay, so we have several plans and we are already planning our next meetups. But I can say that we are a knowledge sharing community. And as soon as there is a knowledge gap, there is a need to bring together experts with people who want to learn and evolve. Even those who wants to perform their first step, as I mentioned, to enter a specific field in the InfoSec or any other field, and it opens doors and also windows, as I mentioned, for those who don't know where to start at home. I believe that there are some other areas, except of the info security, that we can grow and for a meetup group, are maybe to open new communities in the field of IT and DevOps and cloud and AI. So where there is a knowledge or a knowledge gap that can be shared with the community, I think this is exactly where we need to evolve. I think also the information security field and the cybersecurity world was involved to also other aspects of the business, other aspect of technology. And there might be some security parts. Even if you're talking about AI and the new ChatGPT, there are some security issues related to privacy, the information you are transferring through the AI, what you are receiving from AI, if it's secured or not. So I believe it's a variety of topic when there is a gap, a knowledge gap, and people want to share their knowledge, understand the expert. Those are the fields that we can evolve into. And we can always add the security part, but eventually, if you're talking about other aspects like cloud and DevOps and IT, it's a wide range of gaps that might be. Some of them are technical, some of them could be managerial or other aspect in that specific field. But I think we can definitely be evolving to this kind of new topics.
Thank you, Lior. It was actually such an honor and a privilege to spend this time with you. Everyone, I'm sure, at the community was curious to know a bit more about the vision, the reality, how other members are perceiving and experiencing this very, very valuable thing that you have created in this world. So I look forward to all the future episodes with many experts and many great people. And I hope to have you again on this podcast one more time. Have a great day and keep going because you're doing great work.
Thank you very much, Aziz. Thank you for having me.